It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? It's your boy Dave in the 702 coming at you for the final episode of the Shoe Shine 2023. Joining me as always all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. ¿Qué pasa? You ready for the best of 2023?
I think the question is the best of 2023 ready for me?
I want to thank my homeboy Ryan. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us and everybody that'll be joining us. Hopefully, it is Thursday night. It is Thursday night. Football is wrapping up or just wrapped up. Is it over, Drew?
I don't know. I haven't been watching it, man. Be honest, man. Like
aside from my only Christmas wish of the San Francisco 49ers beating the Ravens, that didn't happen.
and did I call it, Dave? Did I call it?
Oh man, shit.
Did I call it, Dave?
As they say, like in boxing, guys, we always talk about levels in the sport of boxing. And I got to keep it, I just got to keep it 100. There's levels in football as well. And the Ravens on Christmas Day showed to be levels above the San Francisco 49ers. I only hope the team can get it together if we see them again in the Super Bowl, if that's what comes to fruition. So that being said, Drew, there's been a lot of boxing that went on over the week that we've been gone. Normally we come together on Monday. My family, shout out to my family, my mom, my stepdad, and two of my cousins and my aunt were just here. They just left this morning. So today was rough, Drew. I worked all day, and I'm like, damn, I really didn't feel like coming on the air and even doing a recap. I'm like, everybody else did a fucking recap. Who gives a shit what I think about who's the best fighter at 20? But you know what, Drew? Thank you for calling me and getting on my ass, because we do need to put this one in the bank. We need to do the Shoe Shine needs to let everybody who watches us, whether in replay or live, let everybody know what we think about 2023. Whether or not we're gonna disagree, you and I, if it was a great year or a horrible fucking year for the sport of boxing. Who's on top? Who proved to be the best fighter in 2023? Who had the best fight? Who had the damn best knockout? Where did things go from here leading us into 2024? For crying out loud. PBC's gone from Showtime. Showtime is good. Shout out Chicano Profits and City Syndicate. Drew, lot for us to talk about. I don't even know where to start. I don't even have notes, but I want to show you guys something really cool that I got. And I have this picture, and I'm gonna share the picture with you guys next week, since I forgot to pull it up. Shout out to Jimenez Video Productions. How about your Raiders? Exactly, man. How about your Raiders? Exactly. I was at Total Wine & More. The whole family went to Total Wine & More. You guys have them in California. We have one here in the south side of Las Vegas at Town Square. Some of you guys that travel here go to Town Square. And we're going through the entire store. They're looking for gifts, and I ran into a limited edition bottle, Floyd Mayweather bottle, Drew. Okay, and it was only $1,500 bottle of tequila made by Avion, a limited edition Floyd Mayweather. And I was like, damn, well, I wonder what that tastes like for $1,500. It was aged for 4 years, and I took a picture of it. I think it's $15.99. But in the same glass enclosure of the best tequilas they have was a bottle that I've been wanting to try for like, I've been wanting to try this bottle for like 2 years. And it went from $99, and I couldn't believe it. It was 99 from, usually it sells for 99 bucks. And I'm so cheap, I typically don't even spend that much on tequila. You won't see me buying Clase Azul or 1942. But this bad boy right here, Drew, look at this bad boy. Patron Añejo. This is a limited edition one that's aged in sherry casks. Anybody that knows about whiskey, that loves good bourbon. I've been wanting to try this for 2 years. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to try it right now for the last episode. As I have not opened it. Will it let me down? Steve D. Shout out to Steve D. Will this bottle of tequila let me down? I was saving this for New Year's Eve, but you know what? I'm going to share this with you guys, with the Shoe Shine audience. And thank you, Steve D, for joining us. Make sure you drop me a comment on my Vegas video I just put out, Steve D, because if I don't get comments, and I thank everybody who left me a comment on that. If I don't get comments, if I don't get likes, then I have to think, why did I spend so much time filming out there looking like a fool with a giant camera in my face in the streets of Las Vegas and then coming home and slaving away for hours? I can't believe how these Vegas content creators spend so much time editing videos. It truly must be a labor of love, but I need that back from you guys, man. I need that back. I need my subscriber count to go up for Drew and I to continue to be motivated in 2024. I need you guys to hit that like button. I need you to let me know the show sucked, because guess what? A bad comment is a comment nonetheless, and it generates that stupid thing they call the algorithm. All right, Drew, please take it away. No, sir. Nando Lamas, this is not the Kirkland, but I'm going to find out because I read some reviews that it's not all that. No, I'm about to find out. Drew, take it away, man.
Well, backing on Dave's comment, gets the negative comments. It's like a cook, like a chef. You don't like give us the bad reviews, and we look forward to just to work on from the bad reviews, negative comments, and everything. But 2023 was an okay year for boxing. We did get fights that we wanted to see and everything. So I don't know, what we plan on doing tonight is what's our best fight of the year, fighter of the year, knockout of the year, and a pound for pound list bullshit. Our own pound for pound list, because here's the thing: 2023, long ass year and everything, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of happy times, a lot of bad times, a lot of booing times, a lot of what the fuck times, and a lot of time shaking my head times. I don't know, you name it. I could fucking go on all night with the bullshit nicknames for type of times that we can have in 2023, but not going to do that. Don't want to do that, because I'm probably going to fall asleep halfway through on me talking like that. And Dave's probably going to fall asleep halfway through it too, because especially if Dave's drinking tequila now and everything.
Oh yeah. Okay, there's something weird that goes on here in the nose. So it's not my favorite. It's good. It's good. If you like whiskey, you're going to like this one. But if I had paid full price, I probably wouldn't. I'd be a little bit pissed off. Now, I could see myself smoking a cigar. A lot of you guys come to Las Vegas like to smoke cigars. This is going to go good with a cigar. It's got this nice fruit caramel. It's got the typical añejo notes, but then something kind of weird happens, and it's almost like wasabi. You guys eat sushi with wasabi, and it kind of inflames your nostrils. It kind of is doing that, and I don't like that. Like even the cheap Centenario, which I can buy for $26 at Total Wine & More, the Añejo, that has artificial flavoring, but it's really, really tasty. Okay. So
does that do the same shit Fireball does? Because Fireball does the same as it. Some
right. You
same
need
shit
that burn, that whiskey burn.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm mad now. I should have bought the Don Julio 70 white, the white one, the Cristalino I like. I think it might improve. Somebody said that you have to let this bad boy air out, okay? Now, it could be that it's aged in sherry cask, and that's why I'm not feeling it originally. I thought, I got to try it. It looks so good. But anyways, 2024, I'm going to buy a shitload of more expensive tequila. Well, more expensive than $55.99, Drew. This was cheap, actually, $55.
Yeah, that's how much we usually spend for Patron.
Exactly. So now it's tasting a little bit better. Maybe I need to have another shot. Maybe I need to have a second shot. So where do we start? Do we get into Day of Reckoning, Drew? Day of Reckoning, the $40 pay-per-view. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I was home all day enjoying that shit. I got up around 9 a.m. I think I missed the first part of it, the first couple fights, Hrgovic and whatnot. I didn't see that one. But let's look at this card again, Drew. It included Otto Wallin fighting Anthony Joshua on top. The return of Deontay Wilder. What a disaster that was. And I know on the roundtable the prior Thursday, I had to rub it in there today's chat. I said I was the one thinking it was going to be Joseph Parker pulling off the upset. Indeed, he did, man. He looked sharp, and Deontay Wilder looked like a straight-up has-been. Dubois schooling Miller? That was impressive.
I looked at it, man. I watched the whole event and everything. And I gotta say, it was a good fucking event. It was really good for how much the event cost, $40 and everything. But I look at it, if you were gonna see an upset, you were probably gonna see an upset in possibly 2 or 3 fights and everything. 2 of the fights, you saw the upset and everything. Top ranks, the dude that got beat, that got stopped with the body shots. Mafadol, or whatever his name is. Yeah, you see him on top weight.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and I remember watching him in the last Saudi card. I didn't think he was going to get stopped by that smaller European level fighter.
I saw it. I saw him fight one time, the small guy, man. And tell you the truth, I kind of figured something. I kind of watched a couple of his fights, and he's not a bad fighter. And I said to myself, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy pulls off an upset and knocks this guy out. Like, I just wouldn't be surprised. And then Deontay Wilder shows more and more that basic fundamentals in boxing he does not have.
And the long layoff made him just so rusty and inaccurate. Nando says the whole card was fun. It was great. I'm just paraphrasing, but he's except for Dimitri Bivol's boring ass. And Drew, I was shocked. That he basically said thanks for the sparring.
What, to Lyndon Orford?
Yeah, thanks for the sparring. Hey, he's a tough bastard.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna be honest with guys. You can call Demetrius Bivol boring, but Demetrius Bivol technically sound. Like, he won his first 8 out of 11 fights by KO and everything, but hasn't had a KO in 6 years. But that tells you one thing about it. You could say negative about it and everything, but to me, it just shows that Bivol evolved as a fighter, as a boxer all around, that he doesn't have to knock people out. He can soundly outbox them and cause damage.
Well, I think what Nando might be getting at is that a lot of those early fights were stoppages on that card, on the Day of Reckoning card. And so people were expecting Dimitri Bivol, this is a guy that beat Canelo Alvarez. He's got to stop a guy we've never heard of domestically here in the U.S. He's got to be able to put this guy away, right?
But you look at it like this, you're following up with heavyweights and everything. And we were 8 seconds away from having the Jarrell Big Baby Miller Daniel Dubois fight going the distance. We had the Deontay Wilder Joseph Parker fight going the distance. To me, I thought Joseph Parker should have got him out of there.
I thought he was going. I actually thought he was going to at some point. I know I see Sin City Syndicate says Deontay Birdlegs Wilder.
You can't.
The guy can't put on any muscle in his calves, Drew. He can't put on any leg muscle.
Here's the thing. When it comes to Bivol, you cannot get on a guy that is patient, that sticks to the game plan, and wins by. And if something goes wrong with the game plan, he switches his game plan and adjusts a little bit. And I just think that people just need to be happy with this performance. It was a good performance by Bivol and everything.
So, Drew, with Bivol, everybody everybody should know that Beterbiev fight is on the horizon for next year. Early part of the calendar, a unification. I don't know. Do they both have enough? I think he only has the WBA. Which title does Bivol have? It's only a unification, right? There's like a lingering belt out there. Somebody's got that one belt out there. It's not for undisputed, right?
Well, here's the thing. They all have all the belts. Both of them have the belts.
Okay, so
including if you count the IBO, which is not a major sectioning body that won't count for undisputed, but that will be on the line also. So you got like 6 belts, including the Ring Magazine belt.
Is it possible? Which is the most prestigious one, is to have the ring belt, which is Jai Opetaia, and I want to talk about Jai Opetaia because he still has that Ring Magazine cruiserweight belt. But Drew, could Dimitri Bivol just been needing some, like he said, thank you for the sparring? Did he just want the rounds? Maybe he's like, you know what? I'm going to fight a real beast next, and I need to shake off some of this rust. Because he did have a long layoff. Yeah,
but I look at it like this. He said, I took a 2-fight deal with the Saudis because because they promised me the undisputed fight. Now, I think everybody needs to know now. Bivol was not dodging an undisputed belt now. Now the ball's in.
I don't know, man. Looks like Nando got an issue with you. He says, that's evolution? Shit put me to sleep. Arthur was thoroughly outclassed, and Bivol still half-stepping in and out of the ring. Reluctant, 24/7, 365.
Here's the issue. Here's the thing. That is evolution. You want to know why? A guy doesn't have to win by knockout. He knows he doesn't have to win by knockout. He knows he can go full 12 rounds. This is a question that we still asking Arthur Beterbiev at 38 years old. Knocking at every opponent and everything. If this goes a full 11, 12 rounds, does he have the gas tank for it? Can he win a decision? If he has to win the decision and everything. Boxing is not always about knocking out your opponent. It's the biggest accomplishment in boxing is winning a fight by knockout, because you get a short night, you get people notice you more for it and everything. But when you demonstrate like the sweet science and everything, it's like you're showing off like an art form or something. Like this is like, it's like people are trying to say that, oh, boxing is all about guys hitting each other. It's a barbaric sport. No, it's not. The object is win by any means. Like, win a fight. If you're going to win by decision, make yourself look good doing it and everything. But we're calling that boring. People want to call that boring. I think the hate is because of what he wanted with the Canelo rematch. Here's the thing. I think a lot of dudes hate on Bivol is because he was missing out on the Canelo rematch and he couldn't get a fight. An absolutely good fight that he had to set up for living awful. Thing about it is, the dude on the right, by beating the cash cow to get a shot at his belts. And he didn't want to give a shot at his belts, Canelo. He wanted to stay at 175. You can't knock the dude off for wanting it, for wanting that shot at Canelo's belts. He totally earned the shot by beating the guy in his own weight class. Now and he said, I can make 168.
Right.
If that's going, but here's the difference between Shakur and Bivol, Chicano. Bivol doesn't mind getting hit and stepping in there and punching the motherfucker. Shakur doesn't even want to punch the motherfucker. So we need to stop it. So we need to stop the bullshit right now and everything. Guys, if you guys cannot appreciate what Bivol's doing, the type of way and everything, I think you guys are just hating on the motherfucker because he turned down a rematch with Canelo because he wanted that 168. The guy beat him already.
Yeah.
Except the rematch should be at 168. not my fault that people are making excuses and everything. Oh, Canelo, if he beats him at 168, everybody's going to kick Canelo, bring him down. No, the fuck it's not.
So what you want? Do you want him to skip the Beterbiev unification matchup that we all want to see to keep pursuing the Canelo rematch?
I want to see the Beterbiev rematch now. Because, tell you the truth, this fucking Canelo rematch ain't happening now because he does not want to fucking fight him at 168, Canelo. He wants a shot at 175. It's just not going to happen. You're the A side. You get to decide where the fight goes. You get to make the most money. Just give the guy a shot at your belt. That's all that matters. You should at least give the guy one thing because he beat you for it, and he beat you kind of easily.
Lil Penny's putting the jinx. Shout out to Lil Penny. He says Niners versus Ravens in the Super Bowl. Yeah, like I want to see that rematch. Speaking of rematches, by the way, earlier you talking about Shakur. Earlier today on the roundtable, someone that joins us here on our show, El Pachuco, was he didn't seem too enthused that 2023 was a great year in the sport of boxing. He said, I think he said something along the lines, if you're here, you can put it back in the chat, that with Shakur Stevenson, 2023 was awful because we had Shakur Stevenson in the worst title match we've ever seen in the history of boxing. And yes, I agree, it was one of the worst title matches we've all seen. But that was merely a shit stain on 2023. And let's be honest, guys, who of us in their 40s hasn't had a shart and got a shit stain? And you don't necessarily say, well, fuck that. The whole year is gone. That was an awful year. I shit my pants. You know what? You forget about it and you move on. Exactly, right?
I don't know.
I already forgot about that accident that happened this year.
Yeah, but I looked at it, man, and tell you the truth, people don't look people try to forget that shit. They do because they really look at Shakur Stevenson, and you thought that this guy's actually going to fight and everything, and try to knock somebody out or be dominant about it. This dude don't even want to fucking engage with somebody. That's literally a threat. Goes one punch at a time and everything.
Well, I guess it's safe to say, Drew, we already got one out the way. The best and worst of 2023, the actual worst what the F fight goes to Shakur Stevenson's performance on F1 Formula Weekend. Exactly. Now, all right, that's the worst. We're going to get to the good stuff. But Drew, back to Day of Reckoning, and I do want to touch lightly on Bam Rodriguez's performance and Inoue not beating the crap out of, but a really good performance over Tapales the other day. Jai Opetaia, Drew, there's already talks about him. Just move him up to heavyweight. He'd be a small heavyweight, but Usyk was a cruiserweight undisputed champion that fought Brady's. And Brady's and Opetaia seemed that they're still on a collision course. He lost his belt. He was stripped of his belt because he did not fight Brady's, and he took this big payday in Saudi Arabia. Do you still want to see that rematch? I know I want to see him rematch Brady's.
I do want to see the rematch. I'll be honest with you. I've always been somewhat intrigued with cruiserweight boxing and everything. It's the division that never got the showcase it deserved in the United States because there's not really a lot of top cruiserweights that are American. They're you'll probably have once in a century, Steve Cunningham. That was probably one of the best American cruiserweights that we had in recent years and everything. But other than that, a lot of us American boxing fans will call the cruiserweight division the Eastern European division. If you look at it, if not to sound fucked up and everything, but it's kind of was.
If Jimenez Video Productions is still here, he says if he comes here for New Year's Eve, dog, hit me up. I really don't know what I'm doing for New Year's Eve. Everything is expensive as fuck, and I'm not sure if I want to hit me up with the suggestion because I'm not too sure I want to go downtown for the craziness. But I'm up for whatever. It's all up in the air. Now, Drew, Jai Opetaia moving up to heavyweight. Can I just see him beat the shit out of Jake Paul first? Can Jake Paul get that? Yeah, I heard he's ranked by the WBC. Can we just get that fight out of the way in 2024?
Here's the thing. I don't think he should move up yet. I think he should go up. I think he should try to get the belt back and try to unify go on the speed at cruiserweight.
I think he needs a break. You know, Brady's was a rapper, and Brady's had put out a rap song where I think he was calling out Canelo, and it didn't get any traction.
And I'll be honest. When I saw him rap, when I heard him rap, I was like, "What the fuck?"
So if I was the Australian Jayo Pataya, I would be calling out Canelo. I'll say, "Hey, you want a shot at you want to crack at my title? Want to get my title back?" Or I would offer the same deal to Jake Paul in 2024. Just offer him the fight.
You know what? I kind of don't want to see those fights. Like, I don't want to see, like, Canelo's not going to do nothing at cruiserweight. It's just, nah. Maybe against Makabu, because Makabu's fucking like.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, Makabu.
I thought you lost a bet, and you have to talk nicely about Canelo for the rest of 2023.
No, that was only for one show, Dave. Calm down.
All right. All right, guys.
But here's the thing, man. I think Okatai needs to just try to get all the belts at cruiserweight before move up to heavyweight, and let the heavyweight scene play out a little bit more before you know the title picture of who you got to go through to get these titles. What's the best path for it to go? Because really, he's going to be an incredibly undersized heavyweight. It took Usyk like 3 fights to get to the right weight to be a heavyweight and to be able to box with the heavyweights for a time and everything. I just don't see it right now with Okatai. I think he just needs to stay at cruiserweight. You got paydays coming now from the Saudis, so you need to just take the advantage of them. A rematch with Brady's in Saudi Arabia, make him some money. It might get him a high 7-figure payday.
Right.
Because he got a 7-figure payday, but a rematch with Brady's might give him a high 7-figure payday. And you gotta really give fighters props. I'll do that.
I won't give you guys an update on this, Patron. Shout out to Chauncey Pearls. Saludos, homeboy, for joining us. And by the way, Chauncey, guys, is a fantastic music producer from the Bay Area, from San Francisco. And I had offered, I said, Chauncey, hit me up with one of these tracks you got, man. Let me put one of your good tracks. Some of the music I pick, because it's royalty free, is it's fucking cheesy. Give me some of them dope beats, Chauncey. In 2024, let's see a Chauncey beat on one of my Vegas vlogs. Now, I want to give you guys a quick update. I'm on my second shot of this Patron Añejo tequila that's aged in cask, sherry casks, and it tastes only slightly bit better. I could go for a third shot, but then I'd be drunk for tomorrow at work. Really, it's easy to drink. It kind of tastes like whiskey, but I would definitely not say this is one of my favorite añejos, which sucks because I was planning on drinking the whole thing for New Year's, and now I got to go. Now, what we see, Sensei Syndicate says, stay home if I don't have any big plans on New Year's. There's a nasty pneumonia, and you're right, dog. I was sick for so long. I don't want to get sick to go see Shaggy or NSYNC in concert in downtown Vegas, wherever the fuck they're having Drew from the 90s. Oh, shit.
I don't know, but Little Petty, can I just ask you, how backed up are you? Or how backed up is New Zealand to the U.S. TV market?
I think
because
it's Australia.
That happened a couple months ago, bro. The Eagles and the Dolphins. That game happened a couple months ago.
Oh yeah. By the way, guys, we will resume Tailgate Talk next week like normal. Right after the holiday, we had my family in town, so I couldn't put that show together. And I don't even know what happened today on Thursday Night Football. If you guys do know what happened with the Jets game, drop it in the chat. Drew, I just want to touch lightly on Dubois and the 2 heavyweight fights that rounded this card, Day of Reckoning, because people wrote Dubois off. Everybody on the roundtable last week was like, big baby Miller was going to knock him the fuck out. Even I was like, is his eye going to hold up? But the guy came in obscenely obese at 330 pounds. He was gassing out. He really didn't have the movement I was expecting at 330 pounds. And Daniel Dubois put a clinical boxing clinic on him. Was just touching him up.
Yeah, God realized Big Baby Miller was just King Hippo.
He's big baby punching bag, big body bag is
No,
what he
but
was.
you know what? It was somewhat of a hard fight until like the later rounds for Daniel Dubois, though. There was a good strategy that Big Baby Miller was trying to do and everything. So, it the object was, but you had to have some type of offense hitting them though. You gotta take because you had to bank in some early rounds. That's why I like the strategy a little bit, but I didn't like it at the same time because you wasn't banking in any of the early rounds to do it like that. Yeah, we cut the phone line off, Lukey, for the day.
Yeah, I had a problem with the phone line today, Lukey. I want to give a big shout out to Lukey who sent me this wonderful copy, and make sure you guys get this on Amazon and add this to your coffee table man cave collection here. I did have a problem with the Colin Studio thing. Now it says it's working, but the Skype bullshit is all screwed up. Which also, by the way, guys, I told Drew, and fantastic. Make sure you guys check out his YouTube channel, guys, because he did a fantastic podcast this week. Always this great stuff on ProBox TV as well. Where was I going with
Thanks,
this?
Luke.
Where was I going with this? Where was I going with this? This is what happens when I have two shots of tequila. I already forget when I was in my train of thought. All right, whatever. Daniel Dubois, Drew. I think this is what the deal was with Daniel Dubois. Top Rank moves their heavyweight prospects slow as shit. They did methodical, even with the silver medalists from California and Jalalov, the gold medalist he wasn't part of this Saudi card, and he's a former gold medalist. They moved their contenders and prospects at just the right speed. And I still think in hindsight that Daniel Dubois was moved way too fast and was not ready for Joe Joyce. He just wasn't. He wasn't ready to be on that caliber fighting top 5 heavyweights. And he suffered as a result. And he suffered from 2 losses. He fights an inactive big baby Miller that just is kind of a fringe top 10 guy. He does exceptionally well, especially because he was he was very overweight. Not that he was rusty. He fought earlier this year, right, Drew? He did have a fight in 2023. He just came in way too big.
No, he came in super fucking big, like fucking Bowser from Super Mario Brothers, like fucking King Hippo from fucking Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Like
I'm here,
Aki Bono.
Sin City Syndicate, I'm here, man. People want to come hang out here. We'll hang out. Let's hang out on Wild Card weekend. Let's make it happen. Let's organize something. Oh, Kevin Pregram, happy holidays to you. Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you coming in here. An old friend. Thank you. Make sure you guys check out Kevin, too. He's on YouTube. All right. Deontay Wilder, the former American heavyweight champ. Does he have anywhere to go? Is he going to get this Anthony Joshua fight? Because everything, to me, hinged on him having a great performance, that he's back in a statement. And he's saying he's going to get this fight. And Anthony Joshua's not opposed to it, Drew. With such a lousy performance and such a great performance by Joseph Parker from down south. Shout out to our down south friends, Little Penny. Does he get that fight with AJ? Because I don't want to see him fight AJ. I want to see Parker, a former champion himself, get a shot.
I look at it like this. I think that the 2 ideal fights that will be in the works, because Andy Ruiz was at that Saudi event and everything, I think we'll probably see Parker Ruiz too. And I think another fight will be, I think we will put, I would put maybe Zhang versus Dubois, or Zhang versus Parker or something. Or Zhang versus Ruiz. We got potential fights and everything. But
I saw Andy Ruiz there. We've seen him fight. Yeah. He's fought Anthony Joshua and said, why wasn't he on the card?
I look at it like this. If you have potential, or you could see a Zhang versus AJ matchup. Like, if you have here's the thing. Eddie Hearn has to realize now that he's kind of at Frank Warren's mercy a little bit when it comes to making the money with the Saudis, because the Saudis only would do business with Frank Warren, not Eddie Hearn by himself. So in order to do business with the Saudi, he has to do business with Frank Warren too. And it will be promoted by Queensberry. That's what. So here's the thing: they were saying that if a fight between Wilder and AJ would happen, Queensberry would be promoting it and everything. So Hearn would have to look at it. Am I going to do this now? Because I'm going to give full promotion rights to Queensberry for my fighter and Deontay. And I'm only going to get a small percentage of it instead of getting my normal percentage. He's going to think about that. Like if I'm going to put it in there, at least I'm going to put it against somebody else and everything. But I think Frank Warner's next strategy should be, since he promotes Zhang now, is to put Zhang on against one of these guys. It will be a good fight, and I think it will be an interesting fight. The most interesting one, I can see it, besides AJ, is Andy Ruiz.
Chicano Prophet says, Dave, we need to go to an ayahuasca retreat together. It is time. And you know what? I'm on board with that. I only hope that I emerge from that ayahuasca experience better than Deontay Wilder did, Drew. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
If the shoe shine gets any worse than this, because I do ayahuasca, then, you know, there's no telling where we'll be in 2024. But sign me up. I'm all for that. Little Penny says, I'll watch the roundtable later. D-Style, I've been watching that PBD podcast, the PBD. They got a good show. I enjoy that myself too, Little Penny. Sometimes I do like their conversations there. All right, Nando Lamas says Deontay is a money jabroni now, and Ryan Garcia is swerving into that lane soon too. By the way, guys, speaking of Ryan Garcia, Rolando Romero really wants a piece of that Ryan Garcia pie. Today and all week, he's been hollering at him. And I guess Ryan Garcia responded to Raleigh and said, nah, Devin Haney and me is getting it on first. You know, basically, he's saying Devin Haney and me is coming to a theater near you, a stadium near you, whatever, Drew.
You know, a guy.
Why does he want such a hard fight? Why does Ryan Garcia want to make it so hard for himself?
I don't know. Ryan set himself up for another embarrassing defeat.
Loss, right? Another embarrassment.
Another embarrassing defeat.
Actually give him a 50-50 chance against Raleigh Romero in a fight that would be, the press conferences would be out of this world. They both have a good game on the microphone. And I think it's a fight that Oscar De La Hoya probably he did chase that fight. Go for that first, man. Don't let your ego get in the way. Give yourself a chance at winning a fight and winning a title in 2024, and then chase the unification with Devin Haney if you can beat Raleigh Romero.
Well, yeah, Chicano, who the fuck is 7-8 Sports? Never heard of them.
I don't know, but I got a text message from my mama, and she said, "You're getting drunk on your show. Maybe you should stop drinking so much. You're gonna start slurring."
Oh, you already started cursing and everything. You're too late. Your mom's gonna smack you when she sees you next time.
It's the worst ending. Okay, Deontay Wilder, Drew. Trash performance. Does he get a big shot in 2024? Former champ.
The question is he gonna still fight after this shit?
I think he wants to fight. Listen, Tyson Fury had the shit performance too. Somehow we all forget about that. Shout out to El Pachuco, who says that the Shakur Stevenson fight was the worst fight of the century. Did he say a century? The worst fight of the century? What, the worst fight we've ever seen as a living human being I've ever seen. That was the worst fight. All right.
Yeah, Chicano, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about him.
What happened to Otto Wallen, guys? Otto Wallen, we were talking about Tyson Fury, the guy who in the pandemic bubble and Top Rank's bubble, where there was no one allowed, ripped up the face of Tyson Fury, and here he looked like severely underclassed, Drew, just like not on the level. What happened? Where did this Anthony Joshua come from?
Oh, no. I got to give the dude prompts because someone would get on me and say I never give boxers prompts if I don't do it. But, you know, Anthony Joshua had an excellent game plan how to attack a guy that generally isn't known for being a knockout puncher, better known for as a boxer and everything. So, you know, he got him out of there, made a statement. He should stay with with Ben Davison, he shouldn't go back to Derrick James because Derrick James turned him into a fucking robot. He was a robot, but let's look at it like this. He turned him into a fucking ageless robot that didn't have the WD-40 in him.
Hold up here. El Pachuco says, I can't even address anymore why Bud is not pound for pound number one. Bud is one of the most overrated boxers of this era. I need clarification on that. Are you upset he's not pound for pound number one? Because I was looking at the list ESPN has provided, a list that came out this week, and they've got Terrence Bud Crawford as number one of all the people that vote on their panel. So are you upset about that, or are you saying he's overrated? Because I don't think he belongs as the current pound for pound number one. We'll get to that too in a minute here.
Yeah, I think people are getting starting to get pissed off here.
All right. Well, that being said, Drew, heavyweights, Anthony Joshua did beat the lineal champ. He beat Klitschko. He was the man at heavyweight. He draws 80,000 people whenever he fights in the UK. And he had that comeback performance this year. He had that comeback performance last week, Day of Reckoning, where he kind of made a big statement in the heavyweight division and said, hey, guys, I'm back. I am back. The old AJ is back. The only thing, he stopped Otto Wallin, right, Drew? It's exactly what we needed to see out of him. The killer's back. Anthony Joshua, a guy who can box and put you away. Tyson Fury looked like garbage in his last performance, arguably lost to an MMA fighter in his first pro fight, which is very intriguing now for the two top UK fighters. If they fight in 2024, it has to be the biggest fight of the year, the biggest grossing pay-per-view, the highest attended event. It has to be. And who will come out on top?
You know what? I still think Fury would be AJ. I think this was the type of fighter that had no punch resistance against AJ, so wasn't that much of a threat. Fury still has the power to knock AJ out and the movement and everything. Totally different fighter and everything. I still think Fury still beats AJ. I will probably think Ngannou could give some guys trouble.
What about Ngannou? Where does he fit in 20? How about Ngannou versus Big Baby Miller or any of those guys that lost or won? Let me see him against another pro boxer.
I would like to see Ngannou versus, it's going to pain me to say this, Derek Chisora.
This comment's a good one here. Sin City Syndicate says, Ray Mercer in his prime would run through these bum heavyweights. And there's still a lot of people that think that this era of heavyweights doesn't match up to prior heavyweight eras.
He might. Some of these guys he might run through. Ray Mercer. I can agree with that. I think terrible Tim Witherspoon runs through a lot of these guys too.
All right, that's the heavyweight landscape. That's Day of Reckoning, our analysis of that fight. The Monster Inoue fought at 3 a.m. here on the West Coast, Drew, the day after, and I had to watch that fight post, I didn't wake up to see that fight. I had family in town, but Drew, exactly as predicted, I think he was a negative 2,000 favorite to beat Tapales to become undisputed at 122 pounds. He had a major win this year over your boy from Philadelphia, Stephen Fulton. Cleaned out that division. Cleaned out 118. Is there anybody to stay and fight at 122? Or is it certain that he's going to get some big fights at 126? And I've already hearing the Saudis are interested in bringing him to Saudi Arabia.
They are, but who against though?
Well, let's see. We just have a brand new champion that's 6 feet tall, Espinoza, who just upset the Cuban former gold medalist. We have, El Venado Lopez, the wrecking machine.
You got Brandon Figueroa. You can bring
Brandon Figueroa. I mean, there's a ton of guys at 126 pounds. And I have to, reading this article on ESPN today, can anyone compete with the Monster Inoue? And at 122 pounds, the answer to that flat out is no. He has no competition worthy of sticking around and defending all those titles. Does he want to? He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. If he moves up to 126, oh man, there are some great fights.
I think anybody under 130 loses the Inoue.
That's
I
the
don't.
stretch. That's where I want to go with this eventually. El Pachuco says Mauricio El Bronco Lara, of course, a great
I
opponent.
think he
Great
destroys
opponents.
all of them. I'm sorry.
Man.
Inoue destroys all of them.
Even a tall fighter like the guy from Guadalajara who just won Espinoza, who just beat the Q, even a guy that big, I mean, he's coming in at 5'5". Can he chop down a tree that big?
If Inoue gets inside, you're done.
Ooh,
Point blank.
Nando thinks Bronco Lara stops Inoue.
I don't know.
There's some
I
heavy
don't
punchers.
think so, man.
Let's
Like,
remember
here's the
how
thing.
far he's come. How far has he come? The guy started his career around 112 pounds, like Bam Rodriguez is now.
I don't know. I think there's a lot. I think people are trying to create fantasy matchups with Inoue, with Denton Davis, which, that's too big of a jump. Bam Rodriguez, why are we talking about Bam Rodriguez and Inoue in the same fucking ring when they're like 10 pounds apart?
You know,
Everything.
you know when I go in other channels and engage in chats, Drew, and I get a little racy with the X-rated humor, like Little Penny. I am just shocked that Little Penny got away with this on YouTube. Now he didn't use any of the words that trigger the algorithm, but what is Little Penny talking about in the chat? Oh man! Shout out to Little Penny. That's what happens when you carefully use the words in the chat. Some of the things you can get away with. Everybody read that comment.
What one?
You look at it?
What one?
Do you want me to read? I don't want to read it.
Just read the fucking comment.
I'm not reading
Davey.
the
Just
comment.
He cursed the whole fucking show already.
I'm not reading that comment.
But what kind? It doesn't have Chicano Profit in it.
Let's see. I think so. Yeah, it does have. It's tagged at Chicano Profit. That comment is hilarious. All right, guys.
Okay, Chicano. Okay, you little Penny. Your mind's in the gutter, right in the fucking gutter, like deep in the black fucking hole gutter.
There's children that listen to this show. No, I'm just kidding. That's a load of BS.
God bless those fucking kids.
That's a load of BS. All right. I honestly think that there's a lot of guys at 126 that could potentially beat Inoue, but I can't wait to see him start on that journey, man. He could fight that gold medalist that just lost if he wants a tune-up. He can fight anybody, but will he? No, he's probably going to go after right away. This is the kind of fighter that he said if I don't get challenged mentally, I can't rise to the occasion. He wants nothing but the hardest challenges. That's being said, Top Rank has 2 featherweight champions. They have, I don't know if Espinoza is co-promoted with him. He was brought in to be an opponent, and he just snatched that belt. But they definitely have El Venado Lopez.
You know what I want to see him? I want to see him fight Navarrete.
And there's people talking about that. There's people talking about bring him up all the way up to 130. But, hey, I want to see him become undisputed at featherweight.
I think he destroys Navarrete.
What about some of the UK fighters, Drew? Some of the great ones.
He destroys Warrington and Lee Woods. Come on, Dave.
Lee Woods, Warrington.
That's a fucking mismatch. It's fucking slaughter. How dare we put them into the sentence?
Okay, what about Mick Conlan?
Oh, he destroys Mike Conlan. Anybody destroys Mike Conlan now. It hurts me to say because he's Irish and everything, but that dude can't take his punch out already. His chin is done.
That brings us. If I had a drum roll on the sound effects here, I would do that, man. But let's just go right to it. Fighter of the year, Drew. The argument seems to be between Devin Haney and the monster Inoue from Japan. Okay, Inoue has done something remarkable, becoming a two-time weight division undisputed champion. That only Terrence Bud Crawford holds that same accolade. Devin Haney becomes undisputed by beating Lomachenko at 135 and moves up and beats one of the top 140-pound fighters, becoming a 2-division weight champion in the same calendar year. Anybody else that really should be in an argument for the top spot?
My fighter of the year is Terrence Crawford. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Here it is, guys.
He became the first man to be undisputed in 2 weight classes. He is the one that knocked out and gave Errol Spence his first L and knocked out Errol Spence. Dominated Errol Spence.
But what else did he do this year?
Retirement.
I waited for that. We've waited for this fight for years, an eternity, for ages. Okay? Then he fights an Errol Spence that's coming off a major car accident, who looks like, he's never looked the same, physically and whatnot. What else did Terrence Crawford do this year? Not that that's anything lightly. I mean, he did become undisputed, but who else did he beat this year? Who else did he beat?
Hey, all I'm saying is if they gave it to Canelo 1 year for only fighting once a year, we got to give Terrence Crawford a pass too.
Anybody in the chat think that Terrence Crawford is fighter of the year? He's currently ranked as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter. I'm going to tell you right now, Drew, if Terrence Crawford had beat Tim Tszyu, moved up in the same calendar year and said, nah, I'm taking that 154-pound title that just got available from Charlo, he would undoubtedly be fighter of the year. But he does not have the same accolades or same accomplishments as Inoue. And it might be a little bit of favoritism towards the American that you have, a little bias.
No, because tell you the truth, I had Bivol fucking fighter of the year when he beat Canelo, and that was the only fight he fought and everything. So I look at it like this, guys. We can get emotional about this on the chat.
Well, I appreciate the people putting it in the chat. Mad Dog here says fighter of the year is the Monster Inoue. A couple of votes for them. Let me know if you guys agree with Drew. It is not the most popular opinion that Terrence Crawford takes that accolade, but at the same time, he's not. He's Dave. I'm no longer on code, so I forgot to bring a water bottle. So all I have is tequila. So can I call in sick tomorrow? Shit, we're only working a half day anyways. Let's look at this pound for pound list and let's get to Drew's pound for pound list. People want to know who Drew thinks is the top dog.
Then we go down from 10. No, we gotta see our fighters of the year and our knockout of the year first, don't we?
By the way, guys, I didn't say, but my fighter of the year, hands down, is Inoue. That's a given. Inoue, I said, would be fighter of the year if he beat Tapales and became undisputed. And my second one does go to Devin Haney. Devin Haney pulled off some remarkable accomplishments, even though I was at that fight against Lomachenko, and I don't think he should have got the nod. What matters is what goes on the record books, because years from now, we won't be debating the fight. People just look at the record books. So I give him #2, and I give Terrence Crawford #3 spot. Now, Drew, are you ready to give us your top pound-for-pound list? I'll give you ESPN's top 5 right now. Let's see how they stack up against Drew's choices. ESPN.
Well, here's the thing. We're gonna go from 10 down and everything.
You're gonna go all the way to 10.
We should.
All right, here we are. Well, let me read you ESPN, and then we'll hear Drew's take. #10, Tyson Fury. Okay. #9, Shakur Stank Stevenson. #8. See, I'm drunk. #8, the fighter formerly known as Gervonta Tank Davis, because I heard he got a new name now. #7, Arthur Beterbiev, or Beterbiev, or however you'd like to pronounce that. #6, Devin Haney. That's kind of fucked up. 6, Devin Haney. Honestly, guys, is it because he left you guys over at Top Rank? #5, Canelo Alvarez. #4, the guy that beat Canelo Alvarez, Dimitri Bivol. #3, Alexander Usyk, who has 3 of the titles at heavyweight. All right. And didn't look like crap like Tyson Fury did. #2, they have Inoue. All right. And he's a Top Rank fighter. He's co-promoted by, and #1, Terrence Crawford, the guy that fled Top Rank. I'm ready to hear Drew's take here. Top 10 fighters.
I look at it like this. #10, you have to do the little Bam Rodriguez multi-division
Thank you. Is anybody else pissed about that? I was surprised that Bam Rodriguez did not get a top 10 spot.
But here's the thing, Dave. Somebody's still gonna get pissed off because I put him at #10. They're gonna get emotional. Oh, you always know, you never give Bam credit. He should be higher. Shut the fuck up. Seriously, on some real shit.
Oh, Chicano, that wasn't my. That was ESPN's list. That was not my list.
Not you, Dave. Not you, Dave. I'm talking about other people. Everything. People gotta stop crying. Number 9, I really will be honest. I really look at this and everything. I will put Tyson Fury as number 9 and everything. Number 1 heavyweight and everything. Undefeated, had a lackluster performance. Didn't take the fight seriously with Nagano. Hopefully, this isn't the Fury we get now. But I have a number 9. Number 8, I got Beterbiev, undefeated, unified light heavyweight champion, all wins by knockout. Has a good resume in light heavyweight and everything, making guys that are been looking really great in the division, make it look easy to them.
And he fights in just 2 weeks, by the way, guys. He fights January 13th versus Caleb Smith.
Number 7, I would really go Devin Haney at number 7. Undisputed at lightweight. Won a title at 140 and everything. Number 7. Number 6. Oh man, I'll be honest. I will put number 6. I will put Canelo at number 6. I think, undisputed super middleweight champion and everything. Number 5.
Sorry, Drew. Sorry to interrupt. I think my dog just took a piss in the corner.
Oh God. I know. Here's the thing. I'm gonna switch it up. Number 6, I have Teofimo Lopez. 2 division world champion.
Thank you. Wow.
Number 5.
Wait, hold up.
Alvarez.
You have Teofimo Lopez on your list. ESPN did not feature Teofimo. The guy who just beat the lineal champ at 140 is not on the top 10 list. And y'all said Drew was a Teofimo Lopez hater for years. Even Chicano Prophet says, wow, he's shocked. Teofimo Lopez is on your list. He could arguably, at the end of the day, be the top 140-pound fighter. And at one point, arguably have been the best 135-pound fighter. He should absolutely be on that list.
So, number 5 is Canelo, super middleweight champion, first Mexican undisputed champion. And first undisputed champion at super middleweight. Number 4, I got Demetrius Bivol. He beat Canelo Alvarez easily. And I think
if Canelo was number 2 at one point, then Dimitri Bivol should have been number 1 at some point.
He has to be in front of Canelo because he easily beat Canelo. Number 3, I would go with Inoue. First 2-time, one of the second man to do 2-time undisputed champion and everything. Number 2 would be Alexander Usyk, undisputed at cruiserweight, unified heavyweight champion of the world. Usyk has an opportunity to be the third man to go undisputed in 2 weight classes. In my opinion, he's arguably the greatest cruiserweight of all time. And number 1, I'll put Terence Crawford, the first man to go undisputed in 2 different weight classes. He's the only man to stop Sean Porter and Errol Spence. And I look at it like this, guys that barely missed my top 10 is Lomachenko with his accomplishments of 3 different weight divisions. Fastest man to have 3 different weight divisions and everything. Who else? I wouldn't even put Tank close to the pound for pound list because he hasn't fought nobody. Shakur Stevenson's best win is against fucking Oscar Valdez. Other than that, he hasn't really showed shit since.
You really don't have Tank Davis, the guy that could arguably knock out everybody from 130 to 140 pounds. He don't crack your list?
No.
Beating Ryan Garcia, knocking out Ryan Garcia with a body punch this year doesn't count for something.
I also had barely missing the list, Ron Francisco Estrada, with his fights with Chocolatito and everything. Potentially being on the block to face Bam Rodriguez, which I slightly favor Estrada.
He's been inactive. Rodriguez. I'm glad you brought that up. Estrada's been inactive as fuck. And it's a young man's sport. And he has been so many tough fights. I disagree with you on that. I think Bam Rodriguez, from what we saw, and once he moves back up to 115, where he did very well against those old legends, I think he takes it. I think he beats Estrada, man. He's just a young man's sport. And in 2024, if we get that fight, and we should get that fight, he beats him. The only other guy I'd like to see Bam just for shits and giggles is with that other little Mexican dude that moved up to 115 and got his ass beat. What's his name?
Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez from Mexico City.
I look at it like this. Certain people miss the pound list, in my opinion, because out of that, not that big name win, not that, they have they're coming off loss, or they're coming off, like, hey, you gotta get that win. You gotta get yourself back on track to get there, or you just haven't fought anybody. And I think people that have Tank Davis in your pound for pound top 10, I don't know what the fuck you see. He hasn't fought anybody.
Tank is the greatest.
Like, look at it like this. When you bring guys up from 126 or 130 to fight you at 135 or 140, that does not make you pound for pound worthy. It makes you not wanting to fight a legitimate 135 pounder, and it makes you want to bring and want to have a rehydration clause with a 140 pound fighter. When you outskilled the motherfucker easily because the motherfucker you're light years ahead of the motherfucker with IQ and skill.
And you said I was cussing too much on tonight's show?
I don't give a fuck, Dave. I cuss every fucking week.
Tank Davis went to the Donald Trump University School of Real Estate. You know that, right? He's a mogul now. He is a mogul. You watch how you talk about Tank Davis or whatever new name he has that he will reveal in 2024. I'm just going to say this.
I hope him converting, he can have someone speak to him in his prayer and tell him to
Mad Dog H. I'm just speaking in jest. I'm bullshitting everybody. I don't even have. I'm going to disagree because I didn't write my list because I didn't even know I was going to go on this tonight to go live. I don't even have a top 10, Drew, but I will disagree with ESPN's top 10 list right here. First of all, number 1, Terrence Crawford. Sorry, it's not him. The number 1 is Inoue. But I do have Terrence Crawford on the list. He absolutely should be potentially number 2. I do have Alexander Usyk on my list because he's just one fight away from becoming undisputed, and he was undisputed at cruiserweight. Nobody's ever done that. Dimitri Bivol is on my list. He beat Canelo. Canelo was the face of boxing. He was pound for pound number 1. Canelo Alvarez is beneath Dimitri Bivol, obviously. Devin Haney, I got him ranked in my top 5. Absolutely. Well, what he just did this year, he's in my top 5 pound for pound. And this Devin Haney's not an exciting fighter I was ever excited about. I don't even think he won the Lomachenko fight. But based on the fact he got the nod and what he did at 140 against Regis Prograis, he cracks my top 5. Arthur Beterbiev, Drew, is ranked so low that I may not even keep him in my top 10. That one I disagree with because he beat, who did he beat? He's beat Anthony Yard this year.
He beats Joe Smith.
2 guys.
Stopped him.
2 guys. Never been undisputed at any weight class. Only fought at 175. He don't crack my top 10. And I'll tell you who does crack, who should be on that list, and that's Teofimo Lopez. I take him out. I disagree with Gervonta Tank Davis being on the list because I agree with everybody here. He's picked and choose. He's played his career has been just whatever Floyd Mayweather says. And Floyd Mayweather at his greatest was the best at cherry picking the guys at the right time or making them do whatever Floyd wanted. You wanted that shot at that big fight, you're going to play by Floyd's rules. And that's exactly the way he's had the career trajectory of Gervonta Tank Davis. So Gervonta Tank Davis, not on my pound for pound list, just based on that. I squeeze in Bam Rodriguez based on merit. I'll take him out.
But I'll be honest with you, Dave.
Yeah.
On some real shit, I really hope Tank converting to Islam and everything helps him get his life back on track, helps him get his...
I think it has, because already he's making some good moves. Like, I'm joking about the Donald Trump School of Real Estate. What he's doing is great. Because he's saying himself, real estate, everybody knows, right? You guys should all know in the chat that the greatest way to build actual wealth, long-term wealth, is not the stock market, but it is real estate. It is real estate followed by the stock market. So good for Gervonta Davis for making that long-term investment. But there will be life after boxing. Shakur Stevenson, Drew, this is a guy that, like, I don't want him to be in my top 10, but he started at featherweight, 126 pounds. He got a title there, an easy one, really, to be. It was an easy. I saw that fight. 130, he fights for a vacant title against a nobody. 135, he's had it easy. All of the titles he's been winning have been easy. And in this most recent fight against Edwin De Los Santos for that vacant strap at 135, he put on the shit performance of the year, a performance nobody wants to talk about, that I referenced as just a shit stain on the sport of boxing in 2023. All right, Chicano Prophet says, glad for Tank, but this was a missed opportunity for the Black Hebrew Israelites, whatever that means. Okay. Well, I won't get into religion. You guys can read the chat.
No, I don't want to talk about religion, but good for him. I hope. Like I said, I hope he gets his life. It helps him get his life back in order.
I hope he gets the fights. I hope he makes the fights that really will leave an impressive legacy in 2024. There's a ton of fights for him to make. Arguably, you could everybody from Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. He already beat. Shakur Stevenson, anybody on this list that's within reach of his weight class is somebody that should be eyeing a fight with Tank Davis. And likewise, Tank Davis should be eyeing an opportunity to fight the very best in 2024. Not the likes of Rayo Valenzuela, guys. And speaking of Rayo Valenzuela, I wanted to get this one out of the way for knockout of the year. And there were some great ones, Drew. My number 2 knockout of the year is Brian Mendoza, the Las Vegas transplant, and what he did to the Towering Inferno. That is my number 2 knockout of the year. You talk about chopping down a tree. The reflexes that it took to knock him down when he saw that he was hurt was remarkable. But this recent KO and the rematch, this has to be one of the best photographers in the sport of boxing right here. And I wish I can give credit to who that is. But to capture this moment, this is knockout of the year right there. The guy is hanging on the ropes. And this just happened, 2 weeks ago, Drew?
I got to disagree with you, Dave, on this one.
That's fine. I just take a moment to admire the sports photography here, capturing this moment in time. Look at him.
I think the knockout of the year is someone that had his opponent laying on his back, looking up at the sky. Junto Nakatani knocking out Andrew Mahoney in the 12th round of their fight early in this year, where his trainer did not want to send Andrew back out, but Andrew was like, let me go out and finish it. And he went out to get knocked the fuck out cold.
That was it's absolutely. Let me get that picture up of that one, of that KO. Where's that KO? Is it this one? Look at the legs. No shit, looking straight up at the air. I still favor the face down. Gail Falkenthal, thank you for joining us. She says, yes, Nakatani is the KO of the year. There you go, Drew. Somebody very esteemed, our friend over at nyfights.com, West Coast editor or bureau chief. She says that was the KO of the year. And it was a brilliant one. And there was some really good ones this year. It's really, really hard to call that one. I guess it's just your preference. My favorite was the Rayo one that just happened just a few weeks ago because I like photography. And look at that. Look at that shot.
Have him in the middle of the ring, out of the light. Like, to be honest, he should have done it in the first fight. But he should have done that in the first fight.
All right. We got the KO of the year. Drew and I disagreed. Nakatani over Maloney was a fantastic one. I do enjoy the Rayo one. I also enjoyed Brian Mendoza of Las Vegas over the Towering Inferno. People thought that couldn't be done, and it did happen. Fight of the year, Drew. This one is hard too because there's a lot, and actually mine too are fairly recent. I'm gonna go with number 2 for fight of the year, guys, it's going to be Rafael Espinosa of Guadalajara fighting the Cuban gold medalist champion, someone who just recently got his gold medalist in Robeisy Ramirez. That is my number 2 contender for best fight of the year. And I'll tell you why, guys, because nobody saw Espinosa. He's supposed to be an Espinosa, but you know how tough fighters are from Guadalajara to beat that gold medalist. And the reason why it's not number 1, Drew, is because Robeisy Ramirez lost his first professional fight. Already had a blemish. It could be done. It had been done. That's why it's not number 1. That is absolutely the best feel-good story in the sport of boxing, and it happened just a few weeks ago. I don't know where Robeisy Ramirez goes from here. The guy puts on exciting fights. He now has 2 losses. He comes in at a close second for my favorite fight of 2023. And number 1, and where's my drum roll? I don't have one, Drew. O'Shaquie Foster. O'Shaquie Foster in Mexico. It just happened less than a month ago against Eduardo Hernandez, which delivered the round of the year. And in my book is the fight of the year because it had the ultimate Hollywood finish where Eduardo Hernandez had rallied back and it looked like he was going to become champion in Mexico amongst all the rabid Mexican fan base in Cancun, all of them screaming, seeing him beat seeing him beat O'Shaquie Foster. And O'Shaquie Foster pulls it out.
I got that as my number 2.
Okay.
I got the Mejia Dovchenko fight. I couldn't put as number 1 because I'll be honest with you, I thought Dovchenko got robbed in that fight. I thought he clearly beat Mejia, and it's just a clean-cut decision, gifted decision Mejia got. But I think that Exposure and Moraes fight is the fight of the year, and the main reason why. The upset happened at the end. It was the upset that made that the fight of the year. How the fight went with each other knocking them down, everything. But it really gave it the fight of the year because it ended with the upset. Because this guy was like, what was he, like an 8-1 underdog?
Mm-hmm.
In this fight? That's my fight of the year. And it became the fight of the year mostly because the way the fight went, and it was an upset.
Salute to my boy JC. Appreciate you coming in here. Let me know now, guys. Put it in the chat or drop a comment at the end of this show because that helps the algorithm in our channel too. Let us know what was your favorite fight of the year. 23 comes up, and there was so many good ones. Gail said that she gives me that was absolutely round of the year, but not fight of the year. And if you guys favor Drew's opinion, let us know. Let me know. Drop it in the chat. What was your fight of the year? All right, Drew, there's going to be a lot of good fights in 2024. It looks like right around the corner right here in Las Vegas is a very exciting start to 2024. Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy are putting on the return of Virgil Ortiz at the Virgin Hotel, and that card is stacked.
I just pray to God he doesn't pull out.
And it's only in 2 weeks. Actually, we're talking about January the 6th. I want to let you guys know who's on this card because the card is actually stacked with some good fights. Anybody coming to Vegas for the Virgil Ortiz fight? Because I personally think the Virgin Hotel, which used to be the Hard Rock, is one of my favorite places to watch fights. Golden Boy has a long history of putting on fights there. And yeah, Drew's right. We hope we don't hear any shenanigans. He's going to be fighting, is it Frederick Lawson? Somebody relatively unknown to me. But there's a lot of interesting, good fighters on that. And that, Ryan, thank you so much. Ryan, that's the one that matters. That's right. Davies versus Barrosa for, is that an eliminator or interim for that 140-pound championship that Rolly Romero is in limbo about? That finds itself on the card as well as somebody else. But Virgil Ortiz has suffered from this very rare condition, rhabdomyolysis. Is that how I pronounce it? Rhabdomyolysis. And obviously, you bring up a valid point, Drew. We're all concerned that something can go wrong as he cuts weight. If Devin Haney weighed 165, I can only imagine what Virgil Ortiz melts down from.
I look at it like this. If he has to pull out again, I think retirement is, you can't get out of retirement this time. Seriously, like,
we talked about long layoffs. We saw the layoff Deontay Wilder had. We're talking about 17 months of ring rust, which is why although Lawson is 30 wins and 3 losses, 22 KOs, he's a 34-year-old journeyman, African fighter from Ghana. We know they come to fight. African fighters always come to fight, and they make for great fights. But he is considered a journeyman, Drew, to get himself, shake off that ring rust.
I look at it like this. What I hope, what do we wish for in 2024? What fights do we wish for? And I'll tell you the truth. I wish for undisputed light heavyweight. I wish for Tank to finally step up and fight one of these legitimate fighters, and hopefully we see that. Hopefully we see Canelo versus Benavidez and everything. I'm sorry, but if we don't see Canelo versus Benavidez this year, we're never going to see it. And I think it tarnishes Canelo's legacy a little bit. And I think the people that want that on Twitter, always trying to make excuses and everything, needs to stop. If you're real boxing fans, if you claim you always want to see the best fights and everything, this is a fight that you want to see. This is a fight you gotta demand if you're a real boxing fan. Because if you go around there and saying that, making excuses why you shouldn't fight Benavidez, you're not a real boxing fan. And I'm just gonna point it out there right now, because if you're a real boxing fan, you want to see the best fights possible to be made. And that's what we fans are for. Like, on the other side, they're fake fans. They want to support certain people because of different reasons and everything. But for this sport to survive and everything, you gotta hope the best fights possible happen and everything. And I just look at it, and I look on Twitter every day, and I just see people making excuses for certain fighters and everything, why they shouldn't fight these guys and everything. He doesn't need to. But the people's demanding it. The public's demanding that fight being made. Who doesn't, if you don't making excuses, it means that you're only too confident that the dude can win. So, at the end of the day, I think that if we need, as a fan base in boxing, for the sport of boxing, if we want this sport to take a leap back into the right direction in 2024 and build off the fights that were made this year and everything, we need to start making big fights, some more big fights. And we need to stop caring about if it's our favorite fighter or not. Doing it and stop making excuses and make the fights happen. Because we pay money to watch these fights.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to waste your money and want to make excuses, go ahead and waste your money. Be stupid as fuck. It doesn't matter to me if you're low IQ at the end of the fucking day and everything, but I'm just need to put, people got to put some perspective into the sport of boxing, that it's a sport that's on life support. And every day we see people giving it a reason. We should stop watching it and just say, fuck it. Switch to MMA. Maybe switch to kickboxing. Maybe switch to pancreas. Well, the fuck you call it.
All right. Well, Drew, regarding this Ortiz versus Lawson fight, I don't have tickets yet. I may have to call this guy Mario Serrano out here in Vegas to see if he's got anything available, some good seats available. And I know there was a reason why I wanted to see it. Obviously, I want to see Ismael Barroso from Venezuela fight Ohari Davies for the super light interim WBA superweight lightweight title. But Arnold Barboza, friend of Lukey Boxing, Arnold Barboza, who was on our show one time, he makes his debut for Golden Boy. He's still undisputed. He's still a ranked 140-pound fighter. He's someone that he absolutely merits a shot at Devin Haney. He merits a shot at Teofimo Lopez. And he needs to start winning some of these fights with a more impressive fashion. We know he can box, but we want to see him turn it up a bit and put on some exciting fights. So he makes his debut. I definitely want to go see Barboza Jr. On January 6th. And you mentioned Sergey Derevchenko versus, you had him as one of your contenders for Fight of the Year against Jaime Munguia. He's fighting at super middleweight. His record doesn't match the type of performances he has in the ring. Very excited about that. And they do have a very good preliminary card. So this looks like a great way to start my new life in Vegas, man, January 6th. Let me know if you guys will be out here, if you guys are thinking about attending it. Like I said, the Virgin Hotel is a great place to watch fights. It's very intimate. It's an awesome place, man. Drew, I appreciate you, man. We had a great year on the Shoe Shine. We're still growing. We still need your support, guys. We need the support of everybody here. Oh, not that song. Christmas is over.
I feel, I pissed a lot of people off over the years doing this shit. And I gotta say, Dave,
you pissing people off?
I always piss people off for some reason. But you know what, Dave? I like to apologize to absolutely fucking nobody. Because I do
I apologize for having a filthy show today. It's a good thing we're not technically monetized yet. And that's the thing, Drew. We need to get... I don't need the money, guys, but I'd like to tell people that this channel is monetized. And then I'll have to stop drinking. That's right, Nando. Then I will no longer be able to be drinking tequila shots on my show on Thursday. It's not even the weekend yet. Gail Falkenthal, make sure you guys check her articles out. Follow her online at nyfights.com. One of the best scribes out there, boxing scribes there is. Make sure you follow her. And Gail, I can't wait to have you back on the show in 2024. Please let me know when you are available. I promise I will not be drinking. I'm only drinking because New Year's Eve is Sunday? I'm ready.
Dave.
I'm ready. I'm in training. I'm in training for Sunday.
You might want to talk a little louder. Everybody's going to think that you're drunk as shit right now.
Well, guys, I've got to get going because my dog took a piss in the middle of the stream today, and I can see that there's a puddle over there, and that's what happens when you have a 16-year-old dog. It's been a great year. I think it was a great year in the sport of boxing, 2023. Don't forget, we have our tailgate talk. We're going to continue to do tailgate talk on Wednesdays for football coverage right up until Las Vegas's first Super Bowl. We'll resume that next Wednesday. I appreciate everybody. If you didn't see my Christmas video, I'm going to be starting a new channel eventually, pretty soon, where I'll be posting that content. But please help me out. Encourage me to keep doing the vlogging and watch the video. Hit me up with a like. Drop me a comment. Drew, your final words?
Oh, God. What can I say? I have shit to say. Tell you the truth, you're going to get the same me after New Year's anyway, so it's another fucking day to me.
All right, that being said, next week, Monday, is New Year's Day. So I will not do the Shoe Shine. We'll be back Tuesday, if that's good with you, Drew. Tuesday and Wednesday for our tailgate. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace out, everybody. Have a blessed, wonderful, happy New Year's and a safe one. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Don't drink and drive, people.
No, take an Uber, guys. Later.